Hey guys, it's Morgan with Raising the Bar Performance. Today's video, or this week's video, is going to be the RDL, the Romanian deadlift. So, what the Romanian deadlift does is it strengthens the hamstring in a lengthened position so that you can tolerate more load during your squat or your deadlift. So, couple things to keep in mind is you want to keep your chest tall, your shoulders retracted and pulled back so that they're engaged throughout the movement, and you want to descend or sit back into your hips. You do not want to be rounding out into your back. It's a hip hinge movement, so we're going to hinge at the hips, pushing back into our hips. All about the hips. So we're going to push back into our hips, keeping our back flat, chest tall. Weight is going to be evenly distributed throughout your feet. So we're going to start with the bar. I'm going to show you what it looks like with just the bar. And then what we're going to do is we're going to add some weight. Not everybody has the same range of motion for this movement, so you're going to see that I'm able to make it down to the ground. I'm able to feel that stretch all the way to the ground. You want to stop where you feel that stretch in that hamstring, where it's fully loaded, and then as you come back up, you want to activate the glutes and squeeze so that your hips come through up at the top. So with the bar first, here we go. So I'm going to grip the bar right outside the hips here. You can do a switch grip or you can do hook here. And I'm going to have it close, or against, I should say, against my legs. Shoulders are retracted and pulled back. Then from there, I'm going to hinge into the hips, gliding the bar straight down my thighs, not letting it leave them. Go as far until you feel that stretch, and then squeeze through the hips and glutes and come back up. Now, there is a slight bend in the knees, so you do not have to be completely locked out the entire time. As you can see, right as the bar starts to pass my knees have a slight bend, and that's okay. The hamstring is still loaded where it needs to be. So here, hips back, chest up, nice and tall, slight bend, go down till you feel that stretch, squeeze through the glutes, and come back up. So as we add weight, and we're going to then pick the bar up from the floor, you're going to load the hamstrings a little bit differently. So you're going to start slightly bent in the knees, almost like you're going into a deadlift, but not necessarily. Here, you're going to start with your shins as close to the bar as possible, whereas in the deadlift, they're kind of back and then you push them forward. So let's go ahead and move into it. All right. I'm going to start on this side this time. This floor is a little bit crooked. That's okay. So here we are, right at the bar. As you can see, shins are directly against. I'm going to then hinge here at the hips, come down to the bar. I'm going to do switch, so I'm going to have one hand, my dominant hand facing this way, my other hand facing over. Flat back, everything's nice and taut, squeeze through, hips. Okay, now that I'm at the top, here I go, loading the hamstrings, hip hinge, shoulders are pulled back, all the way down to feel the stretch, and squeeze, and come back up. Hips back, chest up, squeeze, one more time, and up. Now, if you can't go all the way down to the floor, that's okay. Go until you feel that stretch. It might be right here. Squeeze and come back up. So, your RDL, you want to keep your shoulders engaged, your chest tall, hinge at the hips, load the hamstrings, and use the glutes to come back up through the movement. Try it out. Let me know if you have any questions.